Hey guys, it's Daniela and I'm here at Chachas today and y'all are watching La Raspera channel, and today I'm going to be doing a part 2 of the last video that I did, which is my shaved ice setup. There's a few things that I didn't include in the video that I feel are really important to talk about. So just jump right into it. The one thing that I briefly touched on but didn't really drop any links or talk about really is the ice molds that I use to make my ice. I do buy those on Amazon. They come in packs of like 6, 8, 10, 24, whatever you find. I do find that a lot of them have different prices for the quantity that you're buying. Some of them are cheaper, some of them are more pricier, so you just kind of have to look. We'll link down below the ones that I got. There are different sizes that you can use, but I personally happen to use the 64 ounce. It's a deli container. If you were to search up 64 ounce deli container, this is what will come out, and I find that these work the best for me. I have used these for since I started my business. I do happen to break or crack sometimes since they are in the freezer, but for the most part they're easily replaceable. I've never had a problem with these. For the most part I just fill it up with filtered water and freeze it, and that's how we make our ice. To take it out, I do run it under water. It doesn't matter if it's warm water or cold water. Just run it under water to hit the whole like diameter of the circle, even the bottom. Everything should be covered and submerged, like with the, not submerged but wet. That way it unsticks from the tub and you kind of just push it down, and that will automatically get your ice out of here. So that's something helpful to know, because I would always be struggling trying to take it out and trying to like crack it from the sides. I would be breaking them. So once I found out that I could just wet it around and that it'll automatically like pop out, that saved me a lot of time. So again, I'll tag these on the description so you can go ahead and look at the prices so you can see what makes most sense for you. Other than that, I do know there is some people who use preservatives in their shaved ice blocks. I know when I worked at Bahama Bucks, we put sodium benzoate in there, and I've tried to do that, and I just find that it makes it salty and it makes it white when it dries on the stainless steel, and I don't see why you would have to do that and put preservatives or mess with the water, because it's just water. So I don't personally use any of that. I know some people do, and if you're looking for that, I'm sure you can find out how to do that on someone else's video. I'm sorry, but I don't know anything about that. But I've never had a problem doing it without preservatives. So if you're not looking to put any preservatives in it, here's your sign to not, because there's no need. Moving on. As for my gloves, I do find that the poly disposable gloves are the most convenient when you're working with the shaved ice. Latex gloves, they are really hard to put on your hands whenever your hands are wet, and for the most part when you're working with shaved ice, your hands are wet most of the time. So I find that my employees work best with these poly disposable gloves. I do buy these at Walmart. It's a pack of 120 and they're a few cents, honestly. They're not even over $1. So these last me a good while. I just buy, 20 of them at a time, and I don't have to buy any gloves for a good while. And how I said, these, you slip them on and you take them off super easily, super quick, and super efficiently. So I really do recommend these. I had an employee once who, she was like, can I bring my own gloves? I'm not a fan of these. And I was like, of course, bring your own gloves, honey. And she quickly was like, never mind, I know why you use these. And I'm like, yes. So these are the way to go. Moving on to the flavors that I use. This is one of the brands that I use several flavors out of. I have our melon one, our chicle azul, and I think that's it. Honestly, the flavors are not, the most exquisite, amazing flavors that you'll find on the market, but this whole container did run for like $21, maybe $24, and it only takes 3 milliliters of this to make a whole quart of syrup, and that is crazy because this is a huge bottle, and 3 milliliters is another brand that I am very fond of, but they are very hard to get my hands on, are these EEZZ? I don't know. These flavor concentrates are my absolute favorite. They do come in a powder form. So like this is the blue raspberry, and you basically just mix it into some sugar water and mix well, and that's what creates the shaved ice syrup. These are shelf stable. You don't have to put them in the refrigerator, and they will last a very long time. So these are my absolute favorite. If they had all the flavors available, I would have all the flavors lined up on my wall, but unfortunately it is so hard to get my hands on these. I can always find the cherry. I've never had a problem with cherry, and it is my favorite. I really like that cherry, but the blue raspberry sometimes is hard to get a hold of. So I finally was able to find the blue raspberry, so I got a whole box of it, but they're great, pretty tasty. So if you find this brand, the cherry, the grape, the blue raspberry, the lime is more, that one has more of like a artificial taste. You know, of course these do too. If that's what you're into, that by all means, it is very tasty. But when I did have like a little taste test with my family, they were like, the lime is a no-go. Personally, I like the lime, but I do make my own natural syrups that I use here at the shop. So fortunately, I don't have to use that artificial lime. I do have a natural syrup recipe guide that I do sell. So if you want to send me a message on Instagram to Daniela.ruizz or chachas_Laredo, I could definitely hook you up with that. Maybe we can even get a little discount if you're watching from this video. That recipe guide does have my natural shaved ice syrup recipes, my sugar water recipe, my tropic cream mixture recipe. It has Red Bull refresher recipes, it has lemonade recipes. So it is full of amazing and tasty recipes that you can use for your business, all with the measurements for, say, the quart bottles for the shaved ice syrup, or a 20 ounce or a 32 ounce for our lemonades and our Red Bulls. So very useful information at an amazing price. Another brand that I do like is called Hawaii's Finest. I don't have one here at my shop, but I have tasted their tiger blood, and it is super delicious and one of my favorites. I never really liked tiger blood, but this Hawaii's Finest brand, super delicious. So if you're looking for a good tiger's blood, I'm sure they have other really good flavors that I haven't tried, but I can stand behind that tiger blood. It is a good one. And the red 40 in it is going extra hard. Not saying that's a good thing, but it is super red and super pretty for pictures. So if that's what you're going for, that is your girl. That is your girl. Oh, as far as my syrups as well, I do not add any preservatives into them. I know there's some people who add sodium benzoate and that other, you know, citric acid. I know there's some people who add like citric acid and sodium benzoate into their into their shaved ice syrups, but I do not do that. As far as all my concentrated syrups, I don't add any additional additives into them. However they come, I mix it into my sugar water, and they are shelf stable. They're pretty good for a long time. They don't go bad. So again, we're trying to stay away from the preservatives, and so far it has worked for me. I do always, you know, make sure that my syrups are mold free, that they close. I like to cover them with our cones. I'll put cones over the top of the bottles, that way throughout the day there's no like stuff falling in through the spouts or anything like that. But for the most part, you can leave them out here. Again, I am inside, so it might be a different story if you're outside, but if you are outside, for the most part, when I did have my trailer, I would just close them with the top and they would be fine. They would be fine. So I think they already have enough preservatives in here to be kept in here, that once you put it into the sugar water, it's just same amount of preservatives. So you don't really have to worry about that, in my opinion. In my opinion. Let's see. So as far as my setup, I am subleasing from a local business. Right here is the door to my room, and then over here is their ordering area. In this kitchen is where I'll do most of my preparation and for the most part wash all of our dishes in this 3-compartment sink over here. It is very helpful subleasing from another business because there's a lot of the amenities that you can already use without having to break the bank and having to buy all the equipment yourself. So I really fell in love with this location for their outdoor seating area. It really called my name, especially being here in Laredo. There's not a lot of places that you can sit outside and get shade from some trees. So that was a really big selling point for me on this location. I did put a lot of time, effort, and thought into my little area. I love doing some gardening, so I have a lot of plants. I did hand make that sign and plant all these beautiful plants. I really love that there's so much greenery here. The vibe that I was going for was giving like Hawaii, tropical beach, and I feel like the beautiful orange flowers and the bushiness of these plants really helped me capture that vibe. This is my ordering window. It is a small area. None of this was like this before when I started. The grass is artificial grass. It used to be all dirt and I added that mulch there. This bike rack, unfortunately, we did not get any permission to move it until we did get permission to move it, but they said that they would move it themselves and then they never moved it. But honestly, it doesn't really bother me. It's kind of fun. And that is my ordering window. It is so cute. Before we moved in, there was absolutely no wall here. So as my security deposit, I built the wall and I wanted to stick with the Hawaiian vibe. So up here we have a cute palm leaf roofing, which is really cute and I feel ties in the whole vibe together. We are in front of a local park. You can see over there is a public pool, and over here there is a baseball park where they're always having practice and baseball games, which is really nice and good for business, especially on a hot day like this. If you guys have made it this far to the video, thank you guys. If y'all have any questions or anything that you think that I can possibly be of help, please do not hesitate to comment on this video and I will try my best to make a new video for y'all. I do have a lot of fun things to teach you guys, so if you are interested in this type of content, please make sure that you hit the follow, the subscribe, and the like button. If you guys are interested in following my socials, my personal Instagram is daniela.ruizz, and then my Instagram for my business is chachas_Laredo. Thank you guys again for watching and have a beautiful day.